Could you tell me your name, please?
Yes, hello. My name is Derek Allen. I'm 37 and I'm presently working with 2E Cruises as an executive sous chef.
Great. What is your understanding of the P&O or
There,
Cunard brand?
yeah, so P&O is a pioneer company, one of the first in the industry. And what I know about them, they've gone leaps and bounds with their culinary side of their operation, involving many celebrity chefs such as Marco Pierre White, who's been a mentor for me for many years.
That's great. Could you please explain your menu and what inspired you?
Well, this menu takes a little bit of my Japanese knowledge, and also I wanted to build some hearty dishes that were coming into the winter season. So I have a pea panna cotta, very colorful, with nice twills. I also have, for the starter, I have a tuna tataki, a little bit more of my Japanese style, so nicely seared tuna tataki, raw in the middle, nicely seared on the outside, with a wakame salad, a seaweed salad, very Asian. And then for my starters, I've wanted to, please the vegetarian side of things as well. So I have a spicy tofu dish with asparagus carpaccio, and I also have a little bit more on the Japanese side. Again, I have a honey glazed lamb chop, and then for the one other main course, I have a filet mignon deconstructed beef Wellington, very British but with a twist, little different presentation on it.
Super. Could you please explain the reasons behind your decision to present this dish from your menu?
Well, it's beef Wellington's a very British dish. I just want to show some of my skills, how I can plate presentation and make it a little bit more appealing for the guests.
Yeah, from here on, we're gonna see the demo
Okay.
of your cooking. So I'm going. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Derek, let's start.
All right, let's start with our demo. So some of the ingredients we have here, we have a filet mignon
Okay.
from Palmerin, which is a nice piece of tenderloin. We're using the tenderloin. The tenderloin is coming from the back, lower back of the cow. Okay. The most tender spot, because this muscle doesn't have a lot of work. It's not been used a lot, so it's a very tender piece of meat. Then we have foie gras here. Now, foie gras, a little controversial in some countries, but it's part of it's the liver of a goose or a duck that's been overfed. So it's getting very fat, not moving a lot, and that's why the liver swells up. Very luxurious, very fatty, very delicate. Right here we'll be using some puff pastry.
Oh, this is the puff pastry. Okay.
Yeah, so puff pastry, it takes a long time to make. We have luckily on board some ready-made puff pastry, but this puff pastry, you make a dough, you incorporate some butter into it, you roll it out, you put it into the fridge to set, then you add butter again, roll it out into the fridge to set, and you repeat this process a minimum 6 times. With all that layer of butter and dough, this is where you get the nice fluffy puff pastry results such as this.
Great. So what is this masala for?
This is going to be the wine we're going to be using in our sauce to add a little bit of sweetness to our demi-glaze.
That's good.
And then we have some vegetables. We're using some baby vegetables, baby squash, baby zucchini, snow pea, baby carrot, and we have some king oyster mushroom.
Great.
Now this is truffle. Truffle is a very nice mushroom, most expensive in the world. Depending on the type, like white truffle is more expensive, but the truffle here, actually they used pigs in the past to dig it out of the ground because it's grown below the ground. Okay, so but the pigs got a little bit selfish and started eating the truffle. So they use dogs to dig it out, and of course now it's farmed internationally around the world.
Super.
We have some onion and garlic for our aromatics, and of course we have some mashed potato that I'll be preparing after.
Great. Could you explain the process, please?
Yes. So also on this side, if we take a look over here, I have a reduced demi-glaze. So demi-glaze, you're taking a brown stock, a mirepoix that you're adding some tomato paste, darkening it in the oven, and then roasting it. Then you're adding it to a pan, adding some cold water with some roasted veal bones. Then you take maybe 20 liters of water and reduce it to about 1 liter to get a nice thick concentration demi-glaze. And that will be the base of our sauce for this this dish. First thing first, to make our puff pastry here, what we're going to do, we need some sort of container. I'm using this, it's from a Jetto pack. You can use a can. It's just to get the ring mold that we need for our display. So I take a knife here. I'm just going to cut a straight line down the puff pastry. Okay. As you can see, I'm using different color-coded cutting boards. Okay, so first red is for meat. We have brown is for ready-to-eat foods, and green is for vegetables. So we're using this so that we're not cross-contaminating with any of our food to keep our guests safe.
Right. So is it HACCP regulation?
This is pH and USPH regulation.
Right.
So this is fleet all around on the seas. We're using these standards to keep guests from catching norovirus and other diseases while on board, so they enjoy their cruising experience.
Great.
So we're using this nice spray here to keep the puff pastry from sticking to the can. I'll simply put this around like this. Okay, now we have our mold ready. This will go into the oven.
Okay.
Around 12 to 14 minutes at about 180 to get a nice mold such like this.
Great.
The next thing we'll do now is prepare our beef. So I'll take some oil onto the grill. Make sure it's hot enough. We'll season it nicely.
Okay. What do you season it with?
We're just using salt and salt right now.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all we need, and then just to have the pure taste of the beef, some simple salt, and we'll grill that off. You know, with tenderloin, it doesn't need a lot of work. It's a nice piece of meat. We want to cook it. Some people say you need to flip a steak only 4 times. So once, twice, then over, and again. This will get you nice cross-hatch marks. Other chefs say, you know what, you can flip it as many times. It's not going to matter. But what we're doing now is we're searing the beef and we're sealing in all the juices of the tenderloin, yeah?
Okay.
Another thing we need to know, we want to cook it to about 59 degrees Celsius for a nice medium, and then we're going to let it rest. While it's resting, it's carryover cooking. So I'll take it off about 55 degrees and let that rest. But for the demonstration purpose, I'll just get some nice marks on it, and so I can plate it up and make it look sexy for you guys. While we're doing that, we're going to cook our vegetables, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just prepare it very nicely.
So what vegetables do we have on the chopping board?
Yes, we have some baby zucchini, baby squash, carrots. I'm just going to cut it into a nice design, and I only need 1 piece for my.
So
my
what
dish.
is this and?
Yeah, so this is the end pieces. This so I won't regard. I'm only going to be using this for my. It's in a nice wedge, pretty to look at, and baby vegetables are nice in flavor. I'll cut the baby squash into quarters, and I'm going to be using 2 pieces of that. So this I can disregard. For the baby carrot, I'll just be cutting it in half and using just 1 piece also. So what I chose is a lot of vegetables that have nice color, yellow, green, orange. It's going to pop out on the plate. Guests eat 99%, about 80% with their eyes before they, and this is the most important thing. Next comes the flavor, but we'll make it taste good, I promise. So also we have some snow pea. It's very important we cut off the tips, and then we're removing the veining down the middle so it's not chewy for the guests. Now now our vegetables are ready to blanch. You always blanch in salted water. It should almost taste like the sea. This way the salt of the water is going into the vegetables and we're getting a nice flavor, okay?
So how far we are with the steak?
The steak, we'll let it go for a little while. Then we'll cross it once, roll around the sides. The other side, it should take about, for a nice medium rare to a medium, approximately 12 minutes or so.
Good.
Now we can start our sauce while we're doing this. So we'll get a pan, a little bit of oil. What I'm going to do is cut an onion. I'm doing a fine dice of an onion now, yeah? You have different dices. You have brunoise, you have small dice.